Hey, welcome back to another episode of Aptera Reboot. Today, I want to take a closer look at some possible reasons why seasoned auto industry expert Sandy Munro of Munro & Associates went from being paid by Aptera to paying Aptera to join in the team. Before we do that, I want to apologize for having the wrong information in my last video. The Valentine's Day promo only gets you $100 off, which goes towards the deposit requirements of a second vehicle when you make a new reservation. If you made a reservation as a result of the wrong information, just remember the deposit is fully refundable. I want to say thank you to everyone who left comments on the video. If it wasn't for you, it would have taken much longer before it came to my attention. I do read comments, so keep them coming so I can keep improving our content. I'm not a YouTuber or a journalist, I'm just a very big fan of the mission and the process the folks at Aptera are taking. I'm an investor and a reservation holder because, like Sandy Munro, I think we might be looking at the beginning of something very big. So just one more thing before we go on, please press the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. When Tesla produced its first car, it started from the top down. They produced an excellent high-performance vehicle. As a result, only a small percentage of people could afford to get one. Over time, Tesla and others have tried to build a high-performance yet affordable vehicle, all without success. In addition to the problem of the non-existing, affordable, mass-market EV, there are the battery shortage and energy density issues.
We used to talk in terms of gigawatts. In the future, we'll be talking in terms of terawatt hours. So this is what's needed in order to transition the world to sustainability. You basically need on the order of roughly 10 terawatt hours a year of battery production to transition the global fleet of vehicles to electric. So it's a lot of batteries, basically.
Yeah. So, and then on the grid side, we have a similar mountain to climb.
Both of these problems limit the number of EVs which can be produced and also significantly limit the range of traditional EVs.
So how did you fit 1,000 miles into that little car behind you?
1,000 miles of batteries aren't easy. The first way to start to answer the problem is to have an efficient platform. I was just showing you I can roll it back and forth just while sitting down on the stool. So it's just the low rolling resistance, low aerodynamic resistance. We burn less than 100 watt hours per mile.
The other big issue that all EV makers are running into is the slow pace and high cost of ramping up production as demand increases.
Yeah, our factory will look very different because everything's human positionable. So a typical factory, you see tons of robots. We will have robotics and automation, but it'll be nothing like a traditional automotive plant.
Is that how you've been able to get the car to be so inexpensive?
It looks to me like Aptera is on the verge of overcoming all of these constraints. And it looks like Sandy Munro might believe this too. If we take a look back at the WeFunder Aptera investor presentation, one of the big selling points for investors is that Aptera can produce vehicles at half the cost of even the best EV manufacturers. This allows them to produce an affordable, mass-market, high-performance vehicle which can either rival or beat even the best Tesla vehicles. This is especially true at highway speeds.
We're 4 times as efficient as the average EV. With a typical passenger car, you use up to 60% of your fuel at highway speeds just pushing air out of the way.
Because the losses are exponential as you go up in speed. So we're doing the EPA highway driving cycle here, and everybody's comparing that to the EPA highway driving cycle, which is average 49 miles an hour. You imagine driving 80, 90 miles an hour, and the differences in range are going to be profound between this vehicle and any other EV.
The fact that Aptera has managed to produce the Roadster with only 4 key structural parts radically reduces the number of robots and man-hours needed to produce each vehicle. It also means a smaller footprint is required for pilot plants. And also, they should be able to ramp up production relatively quickly, easily, and at a much lower budget.
We think we can have a small factory that we can scale up to many, many factories over time and just start getting vehicles on the road and into people's hands.
In comparison, like your Model 3, Tesla Model 3 has over, let's say, 200 parts in what they call the body in white. We don't have that here. We have about 10 pieces that mostly self-align when they go together. So the entire build process lets itself be scalable, as Chris mentioned, like in any location. So the pieces of the vehicle can nest as they're shipped to different locations to be assembled, as opposed to shipping entire bodies. So that gives us flexibility to assemble in different locations, assemble to where the customers are, as opposed to assembling here and shipping them 2,000 miles away.
I'll go a little more into that later. Since the Roadster is so lightweight and aerodynamic, it only has about a quarter of the battery requirements of a standard Model 3. This means many more units of the Roadster could be produced using the same amount of batteries. If you're concerned about sustainable battery production or battery production in general, Aptera is the way to go. Considering China, the EU, and many other governments are forcing manufacturers to increase EV production, Aptera is well positioned to be the beneficiary of these policies. Going back to Aptera's minimal production footprint requirements, if an opportunity presents itself in a new market, they can relatively easily, quickly set up a pilot plant at a fraction of the cost of any other EV manufacturer. This makes Aptera the most agile, mass-market EV manufacturer on the planet. As a bonus, Aptera makes it easy to get a full charge at home using a standard outlet. If you forget to charge at home, from the looks of these pictures, it looks like you'll be able to stop off at a Tesla supercharger or any DC fast charge stations. If you don't have time for that, just leave the Roadster out in the sun while you go about your business, and thanks to the Never Charge system, you'll have enough power to get to a charge station or just drive back home.
But to get 20 miles a day, through most of the year for a lot of places, that's real fuel that you're adding to your tank every day that you don't have to pay for. You're not paying for gas, you're not paying for electricity, you're not taxing the grid. A lot of people are thinking about, well, if we really expand the adoption of electric vehicles, well, now we have to add all this grid infrastructure because, we have to charge all these electric vehicles. But if you're charging off a 110 outlet and you're mostly charging from the sun during the day, it's almost zero impact to the grid around the nation or the world.
I've always been a little bit of a lead foot. When somebody comes along and says that, my vehicle will go to 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds and 110 miles an hour, that's got to be something that people are going to be thinking about and wanting to get into. And especially seeing as if you're going that fast and I don't have to charge the car. Yeah, I can't hardly believe it.
And we're looking forward to working through the details with you and your team because you've got the experience to help show us the way.
Well, we're looking forward to it as well. I think it's going to be a great combination for all of us.
Maybe Sandy has other reasons for investing in Aptera, but all those reasons are compelling enough for me. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, please visit my Patreon page. See you next time.